Okay, this is the face of defeat.
He beat me.
So it's round 5, regroup.
But it doesn't really matter because neither of the islands changed hands. Landing air units doesn't matter. Build airfields. Neither of us can build an airfield right now. Reinforce, repair, and deploy also doesn't matter. Score victory points. So I gain 1, 2, and get to 14 for my 2 undamaged airfields on Bougainville, and then he's got 3, so he goes 1, 2, 3, and wins.
So what were you just saying you should have done?
My goal was to sink one of those carriers because then we would have tied because I would have gained another point for sinking an aircraft carrier, but I only damaged it, and my bombers maybe should have gone after the carriers.
Because I wasn't thinking, and I put everything in combat over here and left my carriers. But when I saw that he was only using 4 fighters, like, I'm gonna take a risk and shoot stuff down over there.
So this game's really short for an Axis and Allies game.
That's what we were talking about. So next time we play, there's an optional rule where instead of going list, like, move battleships, move aircraft carriers, you both write down where all of your ships are going except submarines and aircraft. You write it down secretly, and then we move them at the same time. So we won't know where each other's moving, and we'll just stumble into each other.
Because right now, the first player moves his battleships, and then the second player, well, if he's going to move his battleships here, I'll move him there. If I felt like I was risking them too much...
Like earlier, when I moved my small surface force here to D to try and sink his carriers, he could have seen that and moved his carriers away. And then I'd just been bum out of luck. So next time we play this one, we'll absolutely do the hidden movement rules.
Because it only took 5 rounds, and each round was, 15 minutes?
So that was one of the other things we were going to do, is instead of scoring airfields every turn, we score them every other turn. So then it prolongs it a little bit. I still think you should
lose points. If you lose an airfield, then you lose a point.
But you can't lose an airfield. They can get captured.
Okay, well, isn't that losing
But yeah, you're losing the potential points because then the other person scores.
You are semantic.
No, but that would be stupid because if he takes my airfield, I lose a point, and then he gains a point. He just gained 2 points, and I went basically.
Sucks to suck, doesn't it?
Well, I know it sucks to suck, but the idea is the more airfields you capture and control,
They're just trying to figure out why they can mansplain to me while I'm wrong. Why I'm wrong.
Mansplaining.
So,
oh no.
Guadalcanal is just a small island chain, right? If we were to, well, yes, it's Solomon Islands. Guadalcanal being the one island in the Solomons. Thank you for the correction. I appreciate that. Most of the action on the islands happens on Guadalcanal, right? Anyway, my point is, the reason why you're only scoring airfields to go up is because in the war, the airfields were key, right? But they were only key for that area. The island hopping campaign runs the entire South Pacific. So you only needed that airfield to get the strategic advantage in the area, and then you would move on. Because you're not keeping major flights of fighters and bombers out of Guadalcanal. The only island that mattered much after it's conquered was Iwo Jima. So they moved the like Tinian Island. I mean, it sticks out in history because it's where the Enola Gay took off from. But the real strategic airfield that meant something to both sides would have been Iwo Jima. Yeah, and those are the bigger islands closer to Japan later on.
That's later war. Japan still would have been protecting. That's why we're fighting over here, is because Japan wants Guadalcanal airfields to stop supply getting to Australia.
So they figured if they could isolate Australia, cut Australia off, it would weaken...
And they wouldn't need to go invade it. That's why they got close. They bombed... Where did they bomb? It's the northern tip of Australia. They bombed it a couple times and strafed it, but they never actually landed troops on Australia, even though they got real close with Indonesia and everywhere.
Well, and here's a little nugget to file away. Dan Carlin was talking about the experienced jungle fighters in the South Pacific. It stands out as a really weird alpine jungle. Anyway,
what is it? At one point, is it in the Philippines? The American forces land. No, it's not the Philippines. Is it Guadalcanal?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure
it's one of the islands. They land, and from before they don't have any maps, but they were told by some locals that there's just a hill off the beach. They get off, and it's an extinct volcano.
Yeah.
The Pacific was not well documented.
Yeah. In Germany, it was like, hey, let's get Rand McNally maps to figure out where to go. But he said that the top 3 tough jungle. Well, they said the toughest jungle fighters were the Australians, and then it was the Japanese. And he said the reason the Americans didn't make the list is because they'd show up, cut down the jungle, and then start fighting. I'm like, well, that sounds like the Americans said. But yeah, so they viewed Australia as a huge threat, especially in the islands, and so cutting Australia off from supply and isolating them. And of course, the Allies were like, no, we need Australia to anchor that spot to try to go up north. So hence Guadalcanal became important in the Solomon Island chains. And so while they play a specific role in the game to score up points, the fight over them is really just for the island. So you're just trying to score as many up points as possible because you're going to move on. Whereas in Axis and Allies, you want to score Cairo for all the goodies and benefits. You want to, eliminate the surface fleet in the Mediterranean for all the goodies and benefits, and that's you lose the money.
Yeah. When
you lose the advantage. Anyway.
Okay. Well, rambling is over.
What? You're the one that asked.
Did I ask?
I feel like you did.
Did I ask?
Anyway.
You did ask.
Vote for
Steven won again. This guy can't catch a break.
Well,
next time.
Just so everybody knows, it's only been Axis and Allies where that happens.
Yeah, he does kick your trash and everything else.
I've rage quit board games before because of this kids.
Leave us, comment what you want to see next.
My vote's War of the Ring.
What's War of the Ring? The Lord of the Rings.
It's the Lord of the Rings one.
Is it Axis and Allies?
It's not Axis and Allies, but it's fun.
It's big. It's epic. I've got it. Are you going to be
the forces of evil?
The forces of evil.
Your son only plays evil characters.
I will corrupt Frodo. The ring will be mine. And if you want, we also have Aliens, which is a co-op game. Deep Rock's co-op. Star Wars Armada. Everyone wants to see us play Armada again.
I don't know. Let us know. This video's getting too long.